Hi, friends. Sorry about that. Technical issues. I am so happy to be here with you today. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a fantastic week. And what we've been discussing this week is about our past and specifically how to change our past, how to get over our past, how to reconcile it, how to resolve the conflict, how to get closure. And this is something that I have been able to do, and because of that and the enormous change that it has brought in my life and the blessings that have come out of it, I want to share it with you so that you too can get beyond your past in a way that serves you for the future. So why do we deal with our past? Because we don't want our future limited by the past, because it doesn't have to be. And when we fully embrace that, we've got unlimited potential. Sorry, I'm setting my timer. And okay, so last live on Tuesday, I discussed how I have been able to get over a traumatic event that was in my past, specifically with sexual abuse. That's not everybody's struggle, and that's awesome. But there are many other things that a lot of us deal with in our past that can just weigh us down. And the one I want to talk about today deals with relationships. And specifically when we feel like a friend has failed us, or a family member, just someone that we loved has let us down and we can't let go of it. Or we think we can't let go of it. And I know everyone has had this happen, so I feel like this is a universal thing, learning how to truly forgive. And the examples that I'm going to share today are from friends. And I've had enough relationships that, and I've lived a certain amount of time, well, you have too, that I've had friends do things that shocked me and that I allowed to hurt me in the moment. And the details, the circumstances, I'm not going to share them, or the friends, clearly, because that's their story. But the circumstances are irrelevant, and they always are. No matter what's happened, we hold on so much to the story of someone did this to me and they shouldn't have, and it hurt me, and therefore I'm mad, or therefore I'm wounded. And that simply isn't true. The circumstance is always independent of us, and the way we think about what they've done is what's created our own feelings, and therefore our actions towards them or other people, or how we try to protect ourselves from other people. It's always our thinking. And so with me, when I've had friends do things to me or treat me in a way that I felt was horrible and I couldn't believe it, and one friend, innocently enough, ended up making other relationships harder for other people because of the way those other people were thinking. And when it not only affected me, it affected other people that I was around. I was just devastated that I was a tool that was used to cause pain for other people, when comments that I had shared in confidence were shared on a public scale and then turned into a trail of gossip that ended up just making things very difficult for other people who were creating thoughts about it. Okay, I know I'm being kind of vague here, but again, I'm not sharing the circumstance because the circumstance is irrelevant. So when I felt like they shouldn't have done this, and I can't believe I've been betrayed, my trust in them has been betrayed, my faith in them has been betrayed, I have defended them so many times, and then for them to do this to me, like all of that created anxiety within me and stress, and it made me feel like a victim, like I was helpless, and like, you know, it shouldn't have happened. And so as a result of that, it was so easy for me to hold on to anger towards them, to keep myself at a distance from them because I just couldn't handle them at the moment, and to withdraw and to kind of lick my wounds in a way, because I felt so justified in my hurt. And what I did not realize is, first of all, I had the 100% capacity in those moments to love them unconditionally. It didn't feel like an option at the moment because I was so hurt and I was focused on, myself, but I didn't realize I could love them 100% if I wanted to. And when I started thinking about that, it was like, well, why am I choosing to feel hurt instead of to feel 100% love for them? And it was because I felt justified. Feeling justified in anything that's negative, for me, feels really crappy. It feels awful, but it's justified. And then when we're in that space, we don't realize how terrible justified feels. And what I realized was, I want to be free of that. I want to love them so completely that it doesn't matter what they do towards me. It doesn't matter what they've said. How do I get to a place where I just am at complete peace in my own self and who I am as a person? And it doesn't matter if they do burn a trail around me, that I love them so much they can do whatever they want to do because they're a human being and they have full authority to. They've been given the right to live their life the way they want to. And I shouldn't have to control them in order for me to feel good. So how do I have to feel about them in order for me to feel at complete peace and me to feel 100% love towards them? And I thought, well, if I wasn't a victim of their comments, then I could feel that way. And I thought, okay, well, how do I not be a victim of their comments and of the circumstance? And I thought a similar thought to the one that I had with my childhood trauma, and that was, everything happens for me. So I thought, okay, if they've done this, if they've made statements, whatever, and that it has burned a trail and burned people around me that I love, and I'm kind of looking at this wake of minor devastation, like, how is that for me? Instead of they did this to me, they did this for me. And that was such an empowering feeling, knowing that it was for me. So I thought, if it was for me, it was for me to learn to love. It was for me to learn to let go. So when I first started thinking this, I thought, okay, now I should feel love towards them. I'm supposed to feel love for them. I ought to get over this. But those thoughts only created anxiety. They never created an inspired love towards them. So I had to take should out of my vocabulary. I can't forgive them. I had to take that out of my vocabulary. Ought to, I had to take that out of my vocabulary and just say, there's someone that I used to care about. I'm going to choose to find the things about them that I still care about and not let this other thing tarnish my opinion of them, so that I can love them 100%. And I had to sit and do it and practice it over and over. And anytime another opportunity presented me with the choice to feel bitterness towards them, or justification for anger or resentment or anything like that, that was a beautiful opportunity for me to say, they have done this. They are an adult. They can do whatever they want. And I am choosing to love them because of, and then I would make a list. Now, for some people, I had trouble making a list of the things that I loved about them and appreciated about them. But I'm talking about a physical list where I wrote down all of the ways that they were beautiful and why they had value and why I should value them. And that reframed my mind toward them in a way that I no longer became their victim. And even though they didn't intend me harm, like even if they had intended to do me harm, it wasn't even affecting me anymore. And they could They could try to hurt me and I would still love them because of how many times I have sat and thought about anything they could do that I would say, I am choosing to love them. And I do. And it soaked into who I was. And it's so cool knowing and being so confident, having that confident assurance that people can do whatever they want. They can behave however they want. They can lie about me. They can try to make my life harder. They can attempt to manipulate me. They can whatever. And it doesn't have to affect me negatively because I get to choose how I love them. Because how I respond to them in relationship, think about this, any relationship that we have with someone, whether it's good or whether it's bad, has nothing to do with them. It has entirely to do with the thoughts that we have collected and believe about them. And you know this on like a cognitive level, but having heart knowledge of it comes through practice, through giving yourself responsibility for how you treat them, for the thoughts that you think about them, for what you believe about them. It all goes back to us. So if I want to be a person who loves people, regardless, I've got that ability. And I now am enjoying the fruits of choosing to be at peace with people because I no longer live with that stress and anxiety of the things that have been done to me in the past because they were for me. They weren't at me. They were not an attack at me. Even if they were intended as an attack, it's not an attack for me because I don't choose for it to be an attack on me. But this only comes with practice. And I encourage you, if you're struggling with forgiveness for anybody, for anything, I encourage you to look at the way you're thinking about them and see if you can reframe your past circumstance with them. How was this for me? What can I learn from it? How can I choose to value people, them specifically in this circumstance? How can I become better? And what will it look like in my life? What will the fruits be in my life when I give up my justification for anger or resentment or bitterness or, you name it? And the fruits of that are just, they're limitless. It's beautiful. So let's together look at our past, dig out the things that are like hiding in the closet for us, so to speak, of, like the bodies in the closet, of all the things that we're ashamed of. Let's reframe those things the way that we approach them and the way that we think about them, because it will only make things better for us. It will only improve our life. It will serve us instead of limit us. So I love y'all so much. Thank you for joining me. And Saturday, we're going to cover more things about our past. I'm really excited for Saturday. I'm excited for all of these because there's just so much power in taking control of our own thoughts and our own lives and the things that we create with our lives. So I hope you're joining me on this journey. I hope you're thinking about them, after we talk about these on Facebook. And let me know how you're being changed by any of this. I hope that you experience the same results as I do. I love y'all. I look forward to seeing you again. And until then, God bless. Bye. Well, that was the wrong button. Okay.